Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boardroom. I am really excited about today's show. I want you to meet my co-host, Lauren Pichardo. She puts the Riz in Riz. She's Chief Riz Officer of her business. And Alex Romos are my other co-host here, and he's just risen all the time. I don't even know how to introduce you guys any other way. It is not skedazzle.
Lower the Riz. Lower the Riz.
A place for Rizzlers to get together.
That's right, my man. I am absolutely not. It is not a skibbity show. We know that. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. This show is for entrepreneurs and business owners of all types, and we are going to be talking about some very, very important topics here. So again, this show is for you and about creating a time wealthy advantage. But again, welcome to the Boardroom. Well, let's get to the most important thing. First and foremost, let's talk about our wins. Alex, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I would say big win for me is being able to see family this week, and even just the technology and the flexibility to be able to take work and calls and all of that with me no matter where I go. So one, that's gratitude, but also two, a win that we've got the flexibility to do that in this day and age.
Yeah, that is so true. That's being able to control your calendar for sure. Lauren, biggest wins.
So, biggest wins for me, I got to spend some awesome quality time with my daughter this past weekend. She's off to her dad's for July, and also just really grateful for everyone in my life. I feel like full spectrum. I'm just surrounded by just a diverse group of awesome humans. So
it's nice when you can level up your tribe, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about for you, Mark?
My wins, thanks, Alex. My wins. So this past weekend, I got to spend some time with some former clients who actually reached out and said, hey, we're going to be in your area, and we got to hang out on their boat for a little while this weekend. Liliana is, for those of you who don't know, she's almost gonna be 2 in October. She is a full water baby. This kid, we had to drag her kicking and screaming out of the water, which was so fun.
Nice.
Just had a really, really good time. So that was a lot of fun. All right. And the really cool thing is I am down 10 pounds, which I know. I have been really super intentional. I've not been eating a lot of sugar, which I really don't try to do a lot of sugar anyway, but I'm pretty happy about that. So in my 50 years on this planet, never had an issue with my weight until I did. I was like, wow. So I'm actually looking to lose 5 more pounds, which will bring me down to actually 145, which is a good weight for me. So, all right, everybody. All right, let's get to the whiteboard topic for today, which is, oh man, it's like do you discuss politics? I kind of almost want to discuss anything else. But how much do you let national politics impact your business? Man, that's a really hard thing for people to not not invade their space, right? Like, how do you guys feel like is there a place even in business for politics? What do you guys think?
I feel like it's, especially now with the debates and everything that's going on, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. There's a lot of tension. People are kind of getting enthralled on what's going on. So I feel like personally, for me, what's worked is seeing the kind of the opportunity there to help people get out of that intensity, that headspace, maybe unplug from it so that we can kind of unite in a way that's above that, because ultimately regardless of what we believe in, we're all in this together. So
yeah, I don't know. Like this is one of those things where you just it was funny. I saw a guy post on on his Facebook page, like, don't let people who don't even know your name dictate who your friends are going to be after this. And I was just like, this person's an idiot, this person's this, that, the other thing. But it's so funny. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that during election cycles in general, it's often a very polarizing time. My general rule of thumb is I try not to invest too much mental energy into things that I don't feel like I have a direct control over. And so sometimes, for better for worse, I feel that way about national politics. Locally, I feel like I have much more control and agency. So I try not to waste too much time on things that I don't feel like I can influence. That being said, I also feel like news can be kind of a negative drainer. If you listen to a lot of, mindset people or, even business leaders, they'll say like, stay informed, but don't fall prey to the fear tactics, to all the junk that's out there in the media. So I know that's kind of a balance. How do you guys feel about navigating being informed with the negative, divisive aspect of politics?
That's the tricky part, right? Like, because everything is so divisive and polarizing right now, is really doing your due diligence to find a more conscious minded news outlet that's not as emotionally driven and it's more facts based, right? I think that's a healthy
I think that exists in Russia. Yeah, I think that's
but there are actually people coming out with like newsletters and emails and their own little news structures that are more conscious minded, and they're not as fear based because of the way our world's kind of going crazy right now, the polarized political landscape. So,
and with it being a presidential year, I don't know how much this is due to the presidential election cycle or just other factors in general, but I'm seeing a lot of businesses that I'm working with talk about how this year is kind of an anomaly. Most businesses that have a slow month in May are finding that in June, or vice versa. Like they usually have record-breaking Mays, but now in June it's switched, right? So something seems to be different, and I'm seeing it across the industry as well. So there again, it could be uncertainty, people saying, hey, I'm not really ready to commit or build or buy until things kind of normalize this year, but we have a lot of strange circumstances.
That's really true, because a lot of people don't, I mean, they're hitching their wagons to like, well, if he gets elected, or whichever one gets elected, then I'll know that I'll have a more favorable tax environment, I'll have a more favorable business environment. And I get that, I understand that, but I don't know, man. I think trying to time it like that, I just think is kind of silly. Like, you take advantage of whatever you can take advantage of. I think, and like, how the question is, how much do you let national politics impact your business? Alex, I think you hit the nail on the head, is the fact that you're way more impacted by local politics than really you ever are on the national level. I mean, for people on this channel anyway, right? The Elon Musks of the world, I mean, they're helping drive actual economies. But, for the local business owner who may be doing, if you're doing 10, 20, 30 million dollars in sales, or even just $1 million in sales, you're way more impacted by what's going on in your local area than you are by your local politics than you are at the national level. I mean, that's almost always across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always go back to, it's actually a psychology term, but this idea of like, the locus of control. So where do you put like stock in what you can control? So there's the internal locus of control, which says that like internally I'm responsible for what happens in my environment, and then there's the external locus of control, which is a much more victim mentality, where you just feel like you're at the whim of whatever's happening in your environment. And I feel that way with politics. So whether in business too, like, know what you have ownership of, know what you have responsibility for, and take that stance in your business, right? Focus internally on, hey, this is what I can control, and the stuff that I can't control, I'm not going to let halt my business or halt the way that I am moving forward.
I'm feeling very victimized by this conversation, so we're going to move on.
I was trying to find the name of that news outlet so I could share with you guys, the one that's like more conscious, but maybe I'll have to share it later.
There's
Fox
Newsmax.
News, right?
Well,
yes, exactly.
Yes, that's if it wasn't for keeping old people terrified, I don't know what their actual avatar would be. I don't know that they would actually have another purpose.
It's windy outside.
Yes.
And there's no one with like their hair like blowing everywhere, and they're like, oh, I can't stand.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, let's move on to the water cooler because I do believe that we have a far more important conversation around that, which is how are you, like, again, how are you celebrating Independence Day? Let me just ask this, okay? Let me just point out there's people going into the weekend right now that have 10 fingers that will not have them on Monday. I'm just letting you know that's generally how that's going to work. So we're going to be doing a finger check next week on this show. So again, everybody is. Yeah, just letting you know how this we are about accountability here, and that's what's really important.
Keep your fingers, guys.
That's right. So in terms of celebrating Independence Day, like, is this something you feel like businesses even belong in? Like, what do you guys think as we talk around the water cooler?
I mean, I think it's the same as every other holiday in America, right? Business has always found a way to productize or promote around the holidays, so I don't think July 4th should be any different.
Right.
Whether it's about the country, about some kind of religious milestone, like businesses have free liberty to use these holiday markers as a chance to promote and sell. That's just the way it is.
I don't know about you guys, but I always wait for this weekend coming up to buy my mattresses. I mean, I generally always do.
They have the best deals.
Sweetheart, no, we need to wait another 9 months because I don't care about your back. Don't care. I don't care that the bed smells slightly of urine, but no, we're gonna wait till July 4th weekend so we can get.
July.
Yes. That's Mark sarcasm in case anyone's not familiar enough with it.
That's yes, yeah. Thank you for not allowing me to.
Just in case there's a mattress store owner out there taking down Mark's number, thinking I better call this guy. He's joking.
He is sleeping on a urine smelled mattress. So you have got to fix that.
All right, so coaching specials with a urine-free mattress. That's what I'm hearing. There's opportunity here.
You know what? Lay on your comfortable mattress while you're being coached from a strategist.
This is happening.
This is happening. This is exactly how stuff happens. So I know that there's somebody out there with writing very taking very detailed notes right now.
You need to be in an ideal state when you're soaking in all of the information. None better than laying down in a comfortable bed. Says
the meditation specialist here. Right?
You're welcome.
That's right. I mean, do you guys feel like? So I will say there's a couple. Like, I get that. Like, you kind of look at 4th of July as kind of like the mid-year celebration, right? Like it's almost kind of like, okay, cool. It's not quite the end of the year, but it is the end of the second quarter. Do you feel like that businesses, like, they should do something around July 4th? I feel like it's an opportunity, right? If it's in alignment with their core values, if it's in alignment with the business core values in terms of what's important to them, if they're feeling like, hey, we are a patriotic type company and we're patriotic all year long, like that's part of their core value. I feel like that's something that would make probably more sense from that perspective. But just to do something carte blanche, just because, like, oh, hey, let's have our 4th of July sale just because it's 4th of July. I don't really even know if it's that effective. I mean, I think there's so many. I think it's overused. But I don't know. Like, in terms of actual celebrating Independence Day, I mean, even from the perspective of how do they give their families, do they give their workers extra time off, right? Is that something that they do?
Yeah, that's a wonderful opportunity to allow people to enjoy family time outside of work. So I love that.
And I think it ebbs and flows with your industry too, right? Because I work with people in hospitality space. This is the time to ramp up. So giving time off to their employees just isn't feasible. However, if you're in an industry like my brother-in-law, his company effectively shuts down for a week in July because it's their dead time. So part of it kind of is dependent on the cadence of your business and your industry.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's move on into the break room where we've got to talk about some really important stuff. We have to talk about this. We have to talk about the meltdown, right, on the debate, because that was. Here's the thing, okay? And now I'm not here to take sides here. I think there was a clear winner in the debate. We all have bad nights, those sorts of things. And the thing is, I kind of posted I posted on Facebook the fact that I think I would actually have the best chance of actually becoming president right now than ever.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're watching this afterwards, we're specifically talking about the debate this last week between Biden and Trump. It was kind of the first presidential interaction on the presidential trail for 2024.
And this is also why Alex is a co-host, because he's thinking of things that I would not be thinking of.
And I think we also need to mention that we're going to vote for Mark for president. So
that's
Dolfini,
right.
24.
That's right. That's kind of where we're at. But I think one of the things, and I have spoken at, I'm a national level speaker. I've spoken out before, and I think it's really, really important to recognize that there are, that's happened. Like, I have been in the middle of a sentence, could not even remember what I was even talking about. I even talked myself into a knot, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was that I was even saying. And then from there, I was like, oh my gosh, are you freaking, like, I completely blanked. So when I'm watching it happen and he goes, we beat Medicare, and I'm like, I felt bad for I genuinely felt bad for the guy in that moment, because I know how that happens. I know exactly how that happens.
Right.
Yes, I get that, Mark, but there's a difference between a one-off brain freeze and 15 years of corroborative evidence.
Yeah. I
have a story. So
okay.
I was about 9. I think I was 9. Yeah, there was some kind of theatrical show that our entire grade was doing, and I had like one line that I had to say in front of the entire grade and their parents. And I got up to say what I was supposed to say. I'd practiced. I had obsessed about this thing, right? Like, I had perfected it. I'm like, this is going to be great. I get up there, completely forgot my line.
That's amazing.
Like, I froze. I literally just looked at everyone like, oh, wow. Like, just completely forgot it. So, I may have been 9 years old and, maybe not the president, but whatever.
Yeah.
I can relate.
It does happen. This is something interesting I learned this week. I was talking about stress and coping habits and all of that, and the person I was talking about who works in mental health, she was saying that your body doesn't know the difference between negative stress and positive stress. So the positive stress of a promotion, your body actually processes it the same way as a negative stress of, I need to get out of this environment. And so here you're on stage, and this should be this positive experience of like, man, look what, like, I made it, right? But your body actually goes through the same fight or flight processes, blood constricting away from the brain, your organs getting protected, getting clammy. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting, right? That's why you feel the same way, whether you're accepting an award or if you are getting grilled for poor performance.
Right.
It's all stress.
Yeah.
It's your imagination. It's what it is. It's all the stuff that's going on in your mind and the things that you're thinking before you even step on that platform to have these conversations, That's ultimately what controls your state when you're in that space.
Yeah, I think the first time I heard that positive stress, and so I'm not really sure that it's actually a word, but I remember in the 4-Hour Work Week when Tim Ferriss talked about the opposite of distress is actually eustress, and I was like, okay, I'm not really sure that eustress is a word, but okay. Well, again, I have been known to fabricate many a word in my day, so what the hell. But as long as it's not irregardless, because I think that one just actually, I think that word actually has created actual fist fights and divorces. So you're not allowed to use irregardless. But it's just funny where so that eustress, I have never noticed a difference between that. Now that I sit and think about between the difference between stress and distress and eustress. But you're right. And like now I'm sitting here thinking about it, like even getting on a call with someone who I know, like I'm even looking forward to, it creates that expecting anxiety, right? That forward-looking anxiety sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I was actually telling Annabelle, my daughter, all of what we're talking about now because she's really, I guess the word's dramatic. So I think she'd be a really good actress and get into drama. And I'm trying to push her in that way, but I want her to also authentically want it. So I told her that story because she's so scared of going on stage, right? And I'm like, look,
I
mommy,
can't imagine why with
you
that
know,
story. Yeah.
like I told her that story, and I'm like, look, mommy doesn't have that same stage fright that I used to have. I've come a long way, and it just took practice. That first time is always the scariest. So also that's another factor too, right? Just practice and jumping in and having the confidence to push forward
Yeah.
even when you mess up.
It was kind of funny though, and we have to get wrap up our break here. But here's the interesting thing: is that someone had said at the end of it, and I don't remember who it was, but it was someone's like, "Hey man, we all have bad days," and he was clearly having a bad day. Like it was not his best. He came out slow. I think Trump pissed him off a little bit. It got him fired up, and he was a little better later on, but not great. But oh man, I feel as a speaker, not even from a political perspective, like at this point my level of give a crap is just gone. But but I will say that as a speaker, I have been there, and I had that happen to me one time. I will not say where. It wasn't a big deal, because what I actually did was I just owned it. Like I got into a conversation. Things were going well, and I got in, and I went down this rabbit hole, and I couldn't remember how I got down that rabbit hole, and I couldn't land the plane, and I literally said, "And this is what a brain cramp looks like," and everybody laughed, and I thought them laughing would actually make me feel better, and it didn't. So I actually even went back. I actually said, "All right, let's go back 3 or 4 slides, and then maybe I'll remember what it was." So I didn't remember. I didn't remember until like 10 slides later in terms of what point I was trying to make. But no one cared. Everybody was actually said, "Okay, it made you seem more human" when I brought it up later. But
Right.
but it is the worst. It's the worst feeling ever.
I've never heard that strategy of let me back my slides up. That's the equivalent of being like, man, let me retrace my steps. I can't find my car keys. You're just like, let me just back up this PowerPoint and see where we are.
I'm like after my whole incident, my next step was to sign up for a talent show. So I went from not being able to talk and freaking out to I'm gonna do this and sing in front of everyone.
Wow.
And I was shaking the whole freaking time, but I got
amazing,
there.
Yeah. At least it doesn't go puke in a trash can.
I think I almost did.
Yeah, I don't doubt you. I don't doubt that. All right, guys and gals, it is quitting time. So we are on our way out of this. We are letting you out early, and you do not have to punch your clock. So, what do you guys? What's up for this weekend? What do you guys? How are we gonna land the plane today?
Flying to New York. I'm excited. Actually, 4th of July, it's my mom's cousin's son is getting married, and they have a rehearsal dinner at a brewery that overlooks this area with fireworks. So I'm kind of excited for that. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Where in New York?
Garrison, New York. I've never been.
Oh, yeah. That is really cool. Yep.
I'm excited. My mom grew up in the New York area, but I've never been to that.
It's
part
nice
of
that
New
way.
York.
Yeah. Depending on where you're going, I know the area pretty well. It's pretty nice. Yeah. I grew up not too far from there.
Cool.
Yep. Very good.
I think that would be your second cousin. Someone fact check me on that relationship, but it might be your second cousin.
It is.
That'll be fun. I think it's always fun to see how different cities celebrate different holidays, right? So you can see how that area is going to celebrate through the 4th of July. I know for me, I am at my parents' lake community, so we're going to have a lake show on the 4th and cook out burgers and all that on the evening. So that's what I'm doing for the 4th, playing some games and all
That's
of that.
awesome. That's
That'll
awesome.
be fun. Yeah.
On
Awesome.
an unrelated note, I read this book called Failure to Launch. It's about actually how 20 somethings are not like launching out of the nest. And man, was that a really good book. So if you have a 20 something and you are trying to get them out of your basement house hair, out of your checking account,
Anything?
any or all of the above, that is a really, really good book. I actually went through it on Audible. So if you've got time coming up, that would be probably a good book for you to, again, called Failure to Launch by Mark McConville. He's a clinical psychologist out of Ohio. It was a really, really good book. So if
And
that's
we're not sure why Mark thought of that. It's not because I literally am calling from my parents' basement for this call at this moment. Other than that, irregardless of that, not sure how it's connected.
Irregardless.
That's right. Irregardless of the fact that Alex's father called me, and this is really an intervention. So let's bring on Alex. Alex's
All right,
dad. Come
guys.
on.
Everybody
Where is he at?
call in. It's
That's
time.
right. It's call-in time. So that's right. For the call-in
Good.
part of
Okay.
the show.
Well, we appreciate the book recommendation. That's good.
All right.
All right. Someone get the fireworks going.
Let's squeal out of the parking lot with our headlights on fire here as we were wrapping this show up. Thank you everybody for joining the boardroom for this episode. We are second episode in, and the FTC has not broken down my door yet, so I think
Just
we're doing
wait.
all right. Yeah.
Just wait.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, there's time. There's time.
There is time.
Thanks for joining the boardroom, guys. Take care. We'll see you again next time. We'll see you.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Happy
Take care.
4th.
Happy 4th. Happy Independence Day.